Hello YouTube, welcome back to another Alliance War video. So the day is finally here. The day I was hoping wouldn't happen, but knew possibly could. We've matched against GT40. A lot of my good friends in the game are there. Obviously I spent a lot of time there, so I knew this was going to be a tough one. We're going in with a team of Dr. Doom, Falcon, and a Mega Sentinel. So for me and a few of the other boys in SSX right now, coming from GT40, we wanted to at least put on a good show. We weren't confident we were going to win, but that's what happens when you're coming against the best of the best. That's just one of the things, you just have to do it. And with that notion of playing the best of the best, I'm going to boost accordingly. And I even sent it into GT and they accused me of lying to them about not pushing anymore. So here we go. The best boost that I have, pretty much. What can I say? For me, it's a sign of respect. If I'm going to use these boosts, it's telling you that I'm fighting things that I want to make sure I kind of do it to the best of my ability. And we are, again, in this game mode specifically, we're coming against the best of the best. They're just untouchable. And you're going to see that in this war. Anyway, reviewing apart. So, we have this Dr. Doom versus Nova on Path 1. Pretty easy fight, pretty simple. Basically, I don't mess up, I can't die. It's as simple as that, really. The first two fights are kind of like that, in a way. But Dr. Doom just easily handles Nova here. And yes, John, it is your Nova. So, I don't know if you've been watching the video or not. But in case you do, I'm really sorry, mate, but your Nova got whacked. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So pretty much the Doom cycle as you'd expect, with a Doom versus a Nova, and just get the fight done that way. So for the most part now, I'm going to kind of shut up until the next fight, and I'll let you enjoy watching the rest of this one. So as you can see here, that's Nova in the bin. That's the first full attack bonus. That's what we like to see. In this war I have 6 fights. Yeah, I have 6 fights. So about what I'd expect on average. 5 to 6 fights maybe. A couple of wars here and there, you do a little bit less, but you've got to do what the team needs you for. So here I put on the advanced power. This is for this fight and then no 20. So going to use Falcon here on this Eye-Hook on Masochism. And Falcon, obviously being an attacker tactic, is very, very good this season. Probably arguably as good as what he was when he was debuff immune. No, sorry, he was buff immune. In that, is it Defiance tactic or whatever it was a little time ago. But yeah, now we're against Abe's Eye-Hook, and this guy does not want to throw a special. He is being really annoying. And I was kind of like, look, I just want to get out of this fight. After about 2 minutes, really, at the most, so that I've still got my advanced power boost for a little while. Because that node 20, Joe Fixit, from Love Shack, the one, the only, is he's looking a little bit thick. I don't really want to boost up again if I can help it. So we go for it. Here, I'm going to throw the special 2. And at this point, I was like, oh no, look at how many charges he's at already. Like, he's definitely going to be going into his immortal phase, and I'm going to have to time all that out. And I was just sat here like, for goodness sake. So here I just take the last part of that special 1 onto the block, just so I didn't have to then like dash back and reset all the timer again. For the extra potion or whatever, I'll just take the hit. But anyway, here, he's down to 13%. I'm looking at it and I'm like, ooh, I could push this. Luckily for me, he throws a special 2 pretty much straight away. And now I'm looking at the fight thinking, there's a little bit of time left. Let me take a gamble if he's quick. And literally in the last second of the lock-on, we managed to get him down. So no immortal phase, no extra time. Bosh, bosh. Here we go. For me, this was by far the kind of the biggest and most difficult fight of the war. Well, in my opinion at the time, it was definitely the one that I was more concerned about. So, on this node with the masochism, basically as long as I don't throw a special 1, I shouldn't trigger any debuffs onto Joe Fixit. So masochism shouldn't exist. So we now got to deal with the strike, combat, fury rubbish that I don't even know why it's still on this node because it's nowhere else on the map, apart from these 2 stupid shared fights at the end of each section, 1 and 2, like path 1 and 2 and 3. And now with the skill boost and whatever else, we're just going to try and rinse back. Now, when he rolls 7s like this, you're going to see his block damage is just unreal. An idiot here completely forgets that they've changed Joe Fixit's animations, so you can't dex out at the end of the special 1 anymore. And you can see I get smacked by it twice. Fantastic. One of the members of the Alliance actually put a video into the main chat of where he fought a Joe Fixit on a different node just before this, and that was doing like 6 or 7k block damage when he was hitting into the block after the 7, so. And that was only a rank 3, so this fight was scaring the crap out of me. But yeah, we managed to get it down. In the end, it looked a lot more comfy than probably what it was at the time. But Falcon's a decent option. I have seen a few people do it. CGRs and stuff like that, I've seen them do it too. But Falcon's tactics, so he can shrug off any of the disorient and anything else. Right, now, I put the 6-hour boost on, but as you can see here, by the time I actually got cleared, the 6-hour boost had run out. Which was slightly annoying, but it is what it is. And if I'm honest, by this point the war had kind of already gone away from our grasps. They cleared at least 1 battle group perfectly, and they were pretty much like a good way through the rest of it. So now we're going to go on to this fight, and the officer's recommendation was not to throw a special. Now, I was confused as to why, but my officer asked me not to do something, and he's got the plan in his head and he knows what he wants me to do. Then I'm just going to try and do that job according to what he wants me to do. Like, I'm not in a position to argue with him. He's a good guy. He knows his stuff. And in that case, I'm just going to kind of get this fight done. At the time, it's my only Omega Sentinel fight, so I was also like, let's just get this in, get this done, get out of the way, clears everybody else up for their section 2s. Then I can kind of fully go to bed now, because this is, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning or something. And it's just done. I don't need to worry about it anymore. I can get rid of this war and go back to having a laugh with both the SSX and the GT40 people, because we were. It's very friendly, because of how many of us. And now in SSX, we know so many people, like with both alliances. It's still good, it's still funny, like we have a good time. Here, Havoc did get me slightly concerned. Just in case he wanted to throw the special 3. I don't think I invulned for this fight, if I remember rightly. So he's already about 50% now. With just over a minute, Omega Sentinel's doing enough damage to make this actually work. And you're going to see here, it's just a matter of time and just working the fight down. Again, I'm guessing potentially the reason they didn't want me to throw the special was because it would then use a few armors and then it may trigger buffet or something somehow. But I don't know if that's the case. But like I said, I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to get the fight done. And you're going to see here that this fight is now done. Nothing to really worry about. And KO, Omega Sentinel lost barely any health. Maybe a minute or so to get it done. And that's just the way it is. So now we go into section 2 on path 1 again. And we're coming up against DNR and his anti-venom. So DNR, little fun fact, was the guy that actually kind of put my name forward and recruited me into GT in the first place. So I appreciate you, David. Thank you very much for having me and getting me involved in that alliance for the best part of a year. It's probably over a year, actually. Well over a year, because I only started doing the YouTube videos about a year or so ago, just over a year ago, and I was doing them in GT. But anyway, this anti-venom fight. So I was told that if I triggered the cleanse sort of thing off this debuff, what would then happen is he wouldn't then regen anymore. So I'm just here in the corner trying to do this, but he did trigger a regen there, so I'm not quite sure what happens. I'm going to show the footage back to the officer who, just so he can see that it did still trigger. Maybe I did something wrong and misacknowledged something in here. Completely whiffed the special 2 decks and I panicked for a second. Big time panicked because that can hit hard. Very, very hard. So we're going to go into here now. And Falcon's just going to do his thing. Now, you see I don't have locked on at the minute, so the damage is a little bit meh. But it is what it is. We'll get through the fight, I'm pretty sure. So dodge the heavy attacks. Get rid of his unsteady that he threw from throwing a special. And that makes sure that we don't glance and we can just go back in and start whacking him down again. You can see I didn't put the skill boost back on because it was only this fight. And again, in the nicest respect, it's only an anti-venom. So I'm not really too concerned. I just know that this is my last fight for Falcon. And I can just finish this with whatever health I want. So throw the special 1 and we're over. We're done. Nice. 1 fight left. That's all I've got to do against GT. 1 fight left. And then we'll see how it goes. So this is Wong on buffet over time. And I'm going to use Dr. Doom for this. So again, I fight Wong quite often, especially with Dr. Doom. I don't really ever seem to have a problem with him. But you're going to see this fight. Oh, this fight changes a lot. So, plan of action is just don't trigger a buff because then he can't regen. And I'm not concerned. So you see here he's starting to build up his arm. And here's where the fight starts to go downhill. So this little spell here, as you can see now, is giving him loads and loads of regens. And you're going to be like, why, you're not triggering a buff? Well, it's because in this spell, he actually gets a regen partly from any energy attacks that hit him. So here, I'm just going to do the heavy to get rid of the energy that he'd built up. But then I triggered a buff. So that then, because he was in his next spell, caused him to go unstoppable. Now, throwing this special 3 here, then forces another buff. So he can go unstoppable again. But at this point, I was kind of hoping to just kind of like lower him down a little bit. But he goes unblockable again because of the spells. And at this point, we didn't realize this was the case. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. And it was only after we realized exactly what had happened. And we spoke to GT and they're like, yeah. When we saw Dr. Doom going towards it, we knew this could happen. And yeah. He was just basically unstoppable, unblockable for the whole time after that. And it didn't go well. So, me and my eternal wisdom didn't go back in. Because that's kind of a thing we do. And I was like, oh, do you know what? He's just going to tell me to heal up Falcon. Go in, parry, and kick the crap out of this Wong, basically. So, yes, I died against GT. To be fair, they gave me some banter. I deserved it. But they were pretty good overall. They were just having a laugh. At my expense. And so I healed up Falcon, kind of trying to like preempt what the officer wanted me to do. And then the officer messaged back and said, yeah, okay, use a Mega Sentinel. Fabulous. I don't mind. That's what I needed to do, get the fight done. I just wish I'd not wasted 40-odd K loyalty on the potions that I didn't need to. I should have waited and spoke to them first, like I said. So, plan of action now. A Mega Sentinel can't be nullified. She doesn't do energy damage unless she throws the special, so I don't need to be concerned about that. Now, I just need to kind of watch the buffs that I trigger and keep this heal block on. So you see here, he's not got the energy spell yet anyway, but in a second or two, he will trigger the energy spell. I think it's off the next special 1 that he throws. But I'm just kind of like cruising at this point now. Here you go. So the special 1, here we go now. The energy 1. So if he starts regenning here, we're in trouble. He doesn't. But I triggered another armor, which then triggered the unstoppable, which when he then tried to retaliate, caused an auto block. So here, my indestructible, I did put it on this time because I couldn't risk another attack bonus going. And then that saves me. Now I'm going to throw the special 3. And my plan of action is just throw the special 3, keep the incinerates and the heal block on Wong, and then just watch the sort of damage. But no incinerates. So that was unfortunate, but we move. So now I'm just conscious that every single time, look, when I get a buff, because of that blue spell that he's got, he's going to get unstoppable. So I've just got to be wary of it. In the future, we've said that we're probably not going to take any of these champions to do this fight. But it was, I wouldn't say it was funny. I wouldn't say it was a fun fight, even with a Mega Sentinel. It's still quite stressful, especially because with all the interactions going off on this node. But yeah, that's the fight done. So sadly, and I apologize for SSX. Like, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to die. Like, it was just a really bad sort of interaction for Doctor Doom that we didn't know about at the time. But yeah, we did lose. They went on to perfect clear, so 150 and 0 us, and that's just the GT standard. They were very happy with it. It was the first one of the season, and hopefully for them, not the last. Good luck to them pushing for War Champions again. I'm sure they'll get it. And yeah, hopefully for us, it's not the first. It is the first loss, but hopefully we don't keep getting many more. We can still get the Masters that we're aiming for, and we'll see how it goes. But thank you very much for watching. I hope people appreciate the commentary, the honest commentary against my old alliance, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you again. Bye-bye.